Okay, guys, so you're probably wondering what do I have right here in front of me? Well, the title of the video says it best. I have a new Elite Edition to this collection. Now, in case you guys are wondering, as we uh, adjust the camera there just a little bit, make sure it's adjusted. Okay, it is. But as we say, just adjust the mic, adjust it a little bit. Like I said, the title of the video says it best. So we have a new Elite Edition to the collection. But before we show you that new edition, I'm going to give you guys a bit of an update of what this is, what this collection is. Now, unfortunately, I'm not the kind of person that has a lot of money. I mean, when we got the first stimulus check, maybe I would have had the money to do it because I had a paycheck and the stimulus, and that kind of would have helped out. But I'm not the kind of person that has a replica championship, you know, a championship that seems like the one you see on television. Instead, I'm the kind of guy that goes out and buys the toy replicas. The ones that, let's be honest, you know, a lot of people do buy if they can't afford to buy the true replica ones from various sellers and all that across the country. So anyway, I ended up collecting a lot of these throughout the years, and I'm still collecting them. Sometimes I have to get new variant versions and all that. But I'm still collecting them to an extent. As a matter of fact, I think I have one hidden away somewhere. I don't know where I put it. I may have put it away somewhere. But I do have the, and you've seen it in my videos before. I think it's in the closet here somewhere, but I'm not going to dig it out. It's the spinner belt. I do have the spinner belt as well. So anyway, with that said, let's get into the belts you see here. But yeah, I do have, if I put it on the screen here, I do have the spinner belt that was brought in by, that John Cena had introduced back in 2005. I have the toy replica of that. But anyway, the first one I want to show you is something I got about several years ago. This was basically, well, not several years ago, but this was basically during, I think this was when Cody was still in the company. Cody Rhodes was still in the company. And yeah, this is when they made a deal with Mattel. This is the replica of the Ruthless Aggression Attitude Era Intercontinental Championship. This is the Attitude Era Ruthless Aggression Intercontinental Championship. This was worn on television by the likes of Ken Shamrock, by, like I said, by Ken Shamrock, by Jeff Jarrett. This was held by Cody was one. Cody Rhodes was actually the last one to hold this, and then he decided to swap it out, and I'll show you what he swapped it out with in a moment. But yeah, you had Cody Rhodes wear it. You had Christian, Jericho, you know, a who's who. Stone Cold, I think, wore it. Triple H wore it. Like I said, it's a who's who of people that wore it. Even Ric Flair wore this belt. But like I said, Cody Rhodes, yeah, that's AEW's Cody Rhodes, was the last to wear this belt, because then he decided that he wanted to go old school. He wanted to bring prestige back to the Intercontinental title, so he reintroduced this, the Intercontinental Championship, the classic one, which was last held, as far as I know, by Triple H. I think Triple H was like the last one, or one of the last ones to hold it before they went to this one. But yeah, Cody decided to bring it back because he wanted to feel more special, feel more prestige. Now the Intercontinental Championship has gotten another redesign, and it's the one that is currently held by AJ Styles. So I know they're going to be making a toy replica on that, and that too will be in the collection. But like I said, this was the one that Cody had reintroduced. Basically, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that very well, but basically he had reintroduced this back when he, I think, won the championship the first or the second time. So yeah, he basically introduced this championship. Then another championship I ended up getting. This is when basically WWE had a deal with Jakks Pacifics, who to do the toys and everything, is to do the action figures and the toy replica belts and stuff. And this was the replica of the Raw Tag Team Championship, the original Raw Tag Team Championships from the original brand split between 2002 up till, I would assume, officially 2010 or something. But these championships were actually, yeah, it was about 2000. Yeah, these belts were actually, when I think about it, guys, this belt was actually around till about 2011 before they decided to bring in another belt, and I'll show you that in a moment. But basically, this was the original Raw tag team titles, but they referred to them back then in the early to mid 2000s, or early to late 2000s, they referred to it as the World Tag Team titles, even though it says WWE Tag Team Champions, because it had the world on it. They decided to just call it the World Tag Team titles to differ it from the WWE Tag Team Championships, which were on SmackDown. So that's how they referred to it back then. But yeah, this is the original Raw Tag Team titles when it was just known as the World Tag Team titles. But like I said, when you got to about the 2010s, they still had this and the original SmackDown Tag Team titles when they were the WWE Tag Team titles still around, but they were known as the Unified belts. So to kind of lessen, so basically to clean up, do a little house cleaning, make sure there was less belts around, if you will, to make sure there was less belts around, they decided to introduce us to the Unified Tag Team Championships, the Unified WWE Tag Team Championships, which were these belts. They were known as the penny belts, and for a while they were the only tag team titles in the company. And then of course you had the new brand split and stuff, and these became the Raw Tag Team titles, which later on got a red band or red belt. Basically the strap, basically it got a red strap over this one. But yeah, this was the original, this was the answer to the Unified Tag Team titles. And then like I said, when they did the brand split again, basically this became the Raw Tag Team titles. And then of course they had to create SmackDown Tag Team titles to answer that. And now these are retired, and what you get instead is the Raw Tag Team titles, which have the red strap, and the SmackDown Tag Team titles, which have the blue strap. So yeah, hold on for a sec while I do something. I'm gonna go check something real quickly. Yeah, just checking something real quickly. Sorry about that, guys. But like I said, these were the original Unified Tag Team titles before they did the brand split again, and these lasted up until like several years ago, and they decided to swap them out for the red ones, for the red strap ones, instead of keeping these. Another belt that I have when WWE had deals with Jakks Pacifics was the World Heavyweight Championship, and this, if you take the WWE logo off it, they only put that there for the toy to say. Now here's the thing. When you would look at I don't know if this is on the replica belts that cost like $300 something to get or less, but when you watched the original programming on television, the person that wore this belt never had the WWE logo on it, as far as I know. They never had the logo on it. But here, for the toy, they decided to put it on there. But this is the original. This is basically the Jakks Pacific toy replica of the World Heavyweight title, the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. But this, if you if you take the WWE off it, is the WCW. The last. This is the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. This is when, this was the big, basically the big gold belt, if you will. And like I said, I wish they would have just brought it out without the WWE logo on it, so you can get a more like, okay, we know what it is. But yeah, this was brought in, of course, during the invasion, and then was retired until about, I think it was 2002, when Triple H was handed it by Eric Bischoff on television. Now, some people might say, well, why did he hand him the belt instead of have him work for it? Because basically, and I guess this is kind of true from a technicality standpoint, Triple H had won, storyline-wise, Triple H had won a #1 contendership to face, at the time, the undisputed champion Brock Lesnar, but Brock contractually signed exclusively with SmackDown, taking the undisputed title with him, making it the WWE Championship. So, from a technicality, what that did for Triple H is that left him without a championship to compete for. So, the loophole was, hey, if you can't be the champion, if you can't compete for that title, and you're on this brand, but you're the #1 contender, you know what I'm going to do? Here, you take this. You're the last one to hold it, you're going to hold it again. And this is going to be, you're going to be our champion. So yeah, that's how this championship became what it was on Raw for a while. And I ended up buying it back when I think I lived in Kansas. It really had it and just enjoy having it. So yeah, that was the World Heavyweight Championship. That was the one under the Jakks Pacific agreement, as well as this one. This is just basically this. And I want you to notice something. You might say, well, why does the color look so faded? I think because I had this in the sun a little too long. But this is basically the same belt, if you will, just a little slightly modified. And one of the biggest modifications, of course, is it has the NWO logo on it, but not in the way that that we know it had the NWO logo on it. If we're longtime fans, it's not really the way it had the logo on it. But yeah, WWE decided to basically rebrand this belt, bring it back out with this as an NWO belt. And again, I just wish they would take that off and make it feel more authentic. But again, this was under the Jakks Pacific deal that they had, which I guess is kind of cool. But yeah, again, I think because I had this in the sun too long at times, that's why it's less faded than this one. But then again, it does give off that classic look they would say always accompanied it. But yeah, this was to capitalize on the NWO deal when they spray painted it. So I ended up getting that when they released it. I think they released that a little after they did the world title. And then also, while they were under the Jakks Pacific brand, they released the toy replica of the United States Championship, which I ended up getting. And I think looks pretty good as well. Looks really nice. But now they got the new U.S. Championship. And of course, just like with the new Intercontinental Championship, you know a toy replica belt's coming of that real soon. And then, under the Jakks Pacific one deal, they also released the Winged Eagle belt. Of course, Mattel's released another one as well, another version of it that looks bigger than this. I can tell you that honestly. It's at my job. It's bigger than this. But yeah, this is the Winged Eagle belt. And, you know, I've been wanting to get the Winged Eagle belt even back when they were selling the toy replica belts when I was a kid. So I decided to finally get it. And here it is. This is the one that everybody recognizes as being the WWE Championship, no matter how people look at it or criticize it. And then, of course, last year, I think, or 2 years ago, I bought the Universal Championship toy replica. As you can see, it's got some heft to it too. Ooh. And I think the reason these, I will say this, the reason these have a little bit of heft to them is I think, despite being toys and selling for about $20, they want to try to make them look as authentic and close to what you see on television than than you can imagine, because they obviously know not a lot of people can afford getting the replica belts. So the reason they're making them like this is to kind of give them that illusion. So that's the Universal belt. And then, of course, here's the WWE Championship, which I think has gotten a slight makeover. It's basically like this now. So I have to get that one down the line. All right, and it's also at my job. But this is when they still had the, the scratch logo. the scratch WWE logo. So now they got the new one. But this is basically what Drew McIntyre is holding right now, except like I said, it's the basically the WWE version of this one, WWE Championship version of that. So yeah, I ended up getting this. So that was kind of when I had the money, so I was happy with that. But the reason I bring all this up, ladies and gentlemen, is because, as the title says, we have an elite addition to the collection. Now, before I get into that elite edition, I do want to show you that I also have right here, if I can probably shine some light on it. I have right here the toy replica of the NWA Championship. This thing here, this replica here, I got at a CSW wrestling event back in Lawrence, Kansas, when I lived out there. So I ended up getting that, and so I have that. And then, like I said, I have the spinabout, but it's tucked away in the closet. But as I said, I have an all-new, all-elite edition. And that all-elite edition is the AEW World Championship. Yes, we recently got this in at my job. In the past couple of weeks, we recently got this at my job. Now, this is not done. This is not created or distributed by Mattel. And I like the little box here, a little shininess there. It's pretty cool. But like I said, it's not created by Mattel or anything. And like I said, you get I like that little gold plates, little goldness here on the wording. That's pretty cool. And gold on the world title thing, on the word world, I should say. But like I said, basically this was not distributed or created by Mattel or even Jakks Pacifics. This was created by WC, Wicked Cool Toys. This was created and distributed by Wicked Cool Toys, and it has a picture of Chris Jericho on the back. Yes, it has Chris Jericho on the back. It has his autograph right there, Le Champion, which is pretty cool. Now, the thing is, ooh, well, they stuck this in here really good. Get it out a little bit. Ooh, I don't want to, well, I may have to do that. Oh, there we go. Just have to untape it a little bit. There we go. And that way I save the box and save that as well. I have to scan this and frame it maybe, I don't know. But yeah, here it is. Here is the AEW World Championship. Look at that. Now, this again was distributed and created by Wicked Cool Toys. And a lot of people have actually praised this as being, even though it's a toy, being very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very close to the real deal in a sense. Yes, it's a toy, but a lot of people have said it looks very authentic. That's the one I'm looking for, to the real championship that you see on AEW right now. Because again, it's very detailed. It's got AEW on it. It's got AEW right in the middle with the little cracks and all that, so that's pretty cool. A lot of fine. It's great detail. Wicked Cool Toys did a heck of a job. And as you can see, it's got a lot of buttons on the back to hold everything in place. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. And this is actually, when you think about it, I'm going to compare it in size to this. Oh yeah, it eclipses. Believe it or not, I'm not going to lie. This thing actually eclipses the WWE Championship, and let's see about the Universal title. Oh yeah, you know, hang it down a little bit, it eclipsed it just by a little. That's pretty damn cool. So great attention to detail. And I'm looking at the box right here, and yeah, it's great attention to detail. It's really, really cool that Wicked Cool Toys did that. And again, everybody, when this championship came out, everybody gave AEW a lot of credit for basically, just adjust the thing up there. But they gave AEW a lot of credit for basically creating such a beautiful championship. And I know the moment that real replicas of this belt, like the $300, $150 to $300 ones were being sold, people were going after it like crazy. But yeah, this is the, even though it's a toy replica, it is, I have to admit, a great representation, almost very authentic, very identical to what you see on television. So that's pretty cool. And again, if you want a comparison, all you have to do is like look at this, look at the picture of Jericho holding that, and you kind of get an idea of, okay, that's pretty damn cool. So yeah, the AEW World Championship is the latest edition, is the new Elite Edition to my championship belt collection, which again, I do have the spinner belt, I do have the NWA Championships, those are the toy replicas, of course. And now we have this. And you can only imagine that the next one that they're going to probably have to bring out, Wicked Cool Toys is going to have to bring out from a belt perspective, is the TNT Championship, the Women's Championship, and possibly the Tag Team titles. Because look at this. If WWE is willing to have Mattel, and even before Mattel, Jakks Pacifics, you know, make all that, make all those toy replicas of the championships, then you know AEW is going to want to do the same thing. So yeah, AEW, I have to give them a lot of credit, really hit it out of the ballpark by, you know, scoring a licensing deal with Wicked Cool Toys to create a replica of the championships. And the AEW World title is just the start of it. So, I mean, if they could do such a good job on this championship, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Again, it's beautiful. I'm just blown away. I mean, when I saw this at my job, I was like, oh, we got the AEW Championship out now? And then I saw this and I'm like, that looks pretty damn cool. And I think even those that have unboxed it and have shown it and reviewed it have all said the same thing. I think even those in the wrestling business have said it. Even someone like, I think, Brian Myers and has said it. So... you know, Brian Myers, the former Kurt Hawkins, he's said it. I think the former Zack Ryder, Matt, if you will, that's his name, Matt Cordor, I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, has even mentioned that these look really cool. So that's pretty nice. I really like it. To me, it's probably one of the best replications of a championship from a toy perspective that you're going to get out there. So yeah. The AEW World Championship toy replica. I like it. Really, really cool. And it is a nice addition to the toy replication collection of championship belts that I have. So, yeah, there you go. So anyway, though, guys, I just thought I'd come on here, give you guys an update of the replica toy belt collection I have, as well as introduce you to the newest edition, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So that's pretty cool, which is pretty cool. And again, one of the nicest ones I've seen. So until then, guys, let me know what you all think down below. Comment if you like, and I am out.